Hello. In ToolKit 6.3, we've added a lot of features around images. We've added the ability to have animations, the support for vector graphics, as well as adding some standard graphics libraries for you to select images from. I'm going to start by showing you animations. I have a tool open. I'm in design mode and it's already connected. I will start by putting a static image on this tool. We'll go to the properties and open up the image editor. Okay, so right off the bat you'll see that the image editor is different. It's now essentially an animation editor as well as an image editor. Let's add a new image. I'm going to import some images from my file system just like you would in the past. So I've got 4 images. Now, this next step you'll see that we're now in the animation editor, and within here I've got the 4 images which just have the blades kind of turned on this fan, and that allows us to create an animation from this. You can name your animation what you would like, so that in your list over here you can identify it. With the animations, you're able to set the duration that the frames show. So I'm going to set the duration on this to just 250 milliseconds. And as you can see in the preview up here, we immediately see how the animation is going to look. So I'm happy with this now. If you wanted to move the animations around, you could do drag and drop within here to move the frames around. You could also change the duration for different frames to change how you want the animation to show. But I'm happy with what I have now, and so I'll go ahead and you'll now see that I have a static image with an animation in it running. So we've added support for animations to every component that has an image. So any component that has an image, buttons, switchable images, static images, they all support animations within them. So let's go ahead and add a switchable image. So I'm going to add the checkbox so I can switch the image for you, and we'll add the switchable image. So we'll come back here, and in the image mappings for the switchable image, the true mapping I'm going to tie to the fan that I already have. Now the false mapping, I'm going to add a new image and just pick the first image from the fan. So I have now just a static image or a single image within this animation. And so this is the way you just have a static image showing in your component. So I'm going to rename this. So we have it in our list. Okay, and so for the false, we'll have a static fan. So you can see right away the value is true, the animation is running. I'll go out of design mode and I'll switch off the Boolean. You'll see the static image, or the switchable image stops, it becomes static, and turn it back on. So this is a way that you can show your users some sort of action that's occurring when a value in the device changes to a specific value. So pretty straightforward. I'll also show you really quickly. Let's just put a button on here, and let's go back, and we will find the image, and we'll set the image to the fan just so you can see that. Let's make this bigger too, so you can see how on even buttons you can have animations. So animations are a pretty powerful tool that allow you to show your users some sort of action that's going on. Maybe draw their attention to something, an alarm, something of that sort. So that's animations. The next feature that we added to images is support for vector graphics or vector images. In previous versions of ToolKit, we only supported raster images like the PNG. This particular animation is made with PNG files, and as you see, when you resize it, different than the original size of the PNG, it becomes real blurry and doesn't look very nice. The vector graphics solve this problem. So I'm going to go ahead and add another image, but this time I'm going to use SVG files, which is a vector graphics file format, and that's the format that we support in ToolKit. So I'll import, and I have the same fan but made with SVGs, and we'll set our duration. And now I have the same fan or similar fan with made with SVG vector graphics, and as I resize it, you can see that it draws very clean no matter what size that I make it. It's a lot nicer, makes for a lot more professional looking tools, that type of thing. So if you can make your images that you want to use in SVG, you can now import those into ToolKit and use them. We also added to the images the ability to stretch the image to fit, and so you can now make it fit no matter what the dimensions of your image are. And as you can see with the SVG, it looks really nice. If I do that with the old file format, it still stretches, but it looks off. So the stretch to fit is nice if you want to fill a space and you don't mind the image being stretched to look that way. The final thing that we added to ToolKit 6.3 around images is we've added some standard graphics libraries that allow you to choose graphics from it without having to import your own graphics. This will be beneficial because your tools won't have those graphics within them, thus making the tools smaller. The other benefit is that it standardizes graphics across our tool sets, and so if people are using the graphics from these standard libraries, then the graphics will be more common. We've included graphics from Woodward logos to many other things, as you'll see. So let's go ahead. I've got a static image on here, and I'm going to choose some images from our standard graphics library. Okay. So if I go here, you'll see now that we've got the tool images, which is the images that you import into the tool yourself from the file system. That's like it always has been. But we've also got all these new libraries here. So the application library, and I'll go ahead and change this to medium. It's got images for application type stuff, warnings, those types of things within here. We've got just arrows, electronic images, energy type images. A lot of these come from a third-party library that we purchased, but some of them we designed ourselves to be more specific to our domains. There's hardware images. Here's the Woodward logos. We've got every single logo that Woodward uses. Media images, networking type stuff, people if you'd like to use it, process type images, transportation. Okay, so these image libraries are always available to every tool, and so if you use these images, they're pretty much free to you. So I'm gonna just give you an example and use, we're gonna go with the battery here, and I'll make a animation from it. Okay, so we'll set our duration. And so now you can see I've got this image that I didn't have to import from my file system. It's not included in my tool, but it's a SVG image that can be resized, reused. Very, very nice to be able to have this stuff within our tools. I'll just, as another example, just show you the Woodward logo. So I'll add another static image. Go in here, we'll say new. We'll go to our logos and we'll just select the standard Woodward logo. Just as a static image, and so as you can see now this logo resizes very nicely, very clean, just like Woodward wants us to. So very nice to have these. You can also mix and match the images from within the different libraries. They don't have to just come out of one library. We also support custom libraries, so if you want to make your own libraries, there is a way to do that, and then you include them in a specific directory and ToolKit will pick those up and use them. You have to deploy those with your tools, but there is a way for you to do your own libraries. If you want to see how to do that, go ahead into the ToolKit help and it'll give you information on how to do that. I also want to show you real quickly just a process image that we put together. So this gives you an idea. If I go out of design mode, it gives you an idea of how you can use some of these process images that we put together to show the different states of something happening within a plant or those types of things. So made it a lot more easy to develop these types of things within your tools and to keep your tool sizes smaller. That was just an overview of the new features that we've added for images. For more information on those features, go ahead and see the ToolKit help.